if you read the synthesis of yoga and Sri Aurobindo's own yoga, personal yoga, it's all about rising. It's rising to a level where then you can come down. But the mother changes the emphasis, and she's saying that psychicize the being so that the body, the mind, the will, the affect, everything is its own independent attempt to express the supermind. Everything is raised to the highest pitch possible because behind it is the immanent divine. And then that becomes the basis of a collective yoga here and now. And that's why she says, if you read the Life Divine, Sri Aurobindo is saying each individual has to rise to a really high level, attain the Gnostic being, and then a number of Gnostic beings form a Gnostic community. But the mother is saying, if you're going to do that, the need for interdependence has grown so great. She doesn't say it there, but we can say it that, if we are dependent on maybe 10 people achieving the supermind and then forming a Gnostic community, the world will be obsoleted by then. The world will be extincted by then. We have powerful forces working towards the extinction of the world. We are in the middle of one right now. This pandemic, right? The climate change is right around the corner that can just wipe us out. Many people think we're already done for, right? So what is there that we can do as a species, as a race, rather than go to mountaintops or even to, individual sadhanas to achieve the supermind? And Mother's answer to that is create new spaces of becoming where we empower an integral yoga from inside out, from the psychic towards the supermind. So the psychic being is the intuitional basis of a plural collective. And there's things that point towards that in Sri Aurobindo himself, when he's talking about the world soul as well, or he's talking about nation souls. He's saying, don't make the mistake of thinking that the nation soul is some kind of essence that is separated from other essences. We don't live in a world in which each nation is an essence that is different from other essences. Each individual and each collection of individuals forms a certain body of qualities, of psychic qualities, but ultimately is the same everywhere. We know each other psychically as the one being there is in infinite forms. So that becomes our first datum of collective plurality. Collective yoga can be based on a gradual psychicization of our individual and collective life, much more accessible than individuals attaining the supermind. And the idea of the transindividual and of individuation and transindividuation. So sometimes we find a very different kind of language being developed by a very different kind of thinker that may help us a lot more than the underdeveloped theories of an integral yoga in this direction. I think that, the whole idea of a collective yoga is extremely underdeveloped. It's there. And the mother usually left these things for individuals to develop themselves. Even the school is like that. What is integral education? Those who really knew about it, like Kirit Joshi, who was the mother's right-hand person in the beginning of the school, said to me, she said, don't ever try to formulate an integral education. You guys experiment and find out a certain set of conditions that you'd like to manifest as the integral education here. But others can do other things, and everybody has to discover it for themselves. So there was there's that tremendous openness. That openness is there in Sri Aurobindo as well. I mean, there's no formula for it, but there is a language that can help to understand what are the features that one can grow into. So Simondon can give us a much more well thought out language, the language of transduction, of the trans individual, of superposition, of individuations, ideas. These are ideas, but these ideas make audible, make thinkable certain kinds of structures of becoming. You know? So from that point of view, I think, a collective yoga, I agree what you said about that's our job, but I think we need to understand it much better because there are lots of dangers to it. The collective yoga, even of the psychic, is not a easy thing because everything is tainted by the ego. Everything. We are mostly ego right now. And it's only to the extent that we really put our consciousness behind understanding these deeper concepts and how to avoid the traps of the ego that we can make these things effective.